For 20 years, my world was a labyrinth of shadows and secrets. I operated CIA black sites, places so far off the books they barely existed, even in whispers. I interrogated spies, hunted terrorists, and handled missions no one would ever publicly acknowledge. I'd seen the darkest corners of humanity. But nothing prepared me for the day my own daughter vanished. Her name was Emily. 16 years old. Bright, funny, and stubborn in the way only teenagers can be. She knew almost nothing about my real work. To her, I was just Dad, some mid-level government employee who traveled too much and couldn't talk about his job. On a quiet Tuesday afternoon, she left school and never came home. Her phone pinged once on the edge of the city and then went dark. I went from an unshakable intelligence officer to a terrified father in an instant. I called every contact I had, burned favors I'd been saving for decades. The FBI took the case immediately, but I couldn't sit still. For years, I had extracted information from the unwilling. Now I was on the other side, desperate for answers no one could give me. 3 days passed. No leads. No suspects. Just silence. On the 4th day, my phone rang. A blocked number. A familiar voice on the other end. "She's safe for now," the man said. "We just want what you owe us." Cold sweat ran down my spine. I recognized that voice. Years ago, I had overseen the transfer of a detainee named Kareem Al-Hassan. He'd been released quietly after a political shift. I knew he had gone underground. I also knew he'd never forgiven me. They hadn't kidnapped my daughter randomly. This was retaliation. I didn't tell the FBI the truth. Not at first. I knew if I did, Emily's life might become a pawn in a much larger, more dangerous game. Instead, I began running my own operation in parallel. Old contacts, burned identities, cash stashed for emergencies. I used them all. Days turned into a week. Then the FBI called. "We've got something," the agent said. "A location." It was a warehouse on the outskirts of Baltimore. They'd traced a burner phone used to send ransom demands. The Bureau planned to raid it at dawn. But I didn't wait for dawn. I went alone, armed but not reckless. As I approached the building, the weight of 20 years of covert work pressed down on me. I had run black sites across 3 continents, but this was personal. Inside, the warehouse was dimly lit. Crates lined the walls. And at the center, tied to a chair, was Emily. Her eyes widened when she saw me. "Dad!" she cried. Before I could move, a figure stepped from the shadows. Kareem. Older now, scarred, but his eyes burned with the same hatred. "You took everything from me," he said. "Now you know how it feels." I raised my hands slowly. "Let her go, Kareem. This is between you and me." He laughed bitterly. "It's always been between you and me. The girl is just insurance." I could hear sirens in the distance, the FBI closing in. My window to act was seconds, not minutes. "Kareem," I said, my voice calm, "if you wanted me dead, you'd have done it already. This, taking my daughter, this is a message. But you and I both know how this ends." His jaw clenched. For a moment, I saw the flicker of uncertainty. And then the breach. The FBI stormed the warehouse, shouts and gunfire filling the air. Kareem lunged for Emily, but I moved first. Years of training took over. I tackled him, disarmed him, and held him down as agents swarmed in. Emily was in my arms before I even realized what I was doing. She was shaking, crying, but alive. "Dad," she whispered. "What's happening? Who are you?" I couldn't answer. Not fully. Not yet. Kareem was dragged away, screaming threats I barely heard. All I could think about was Emily, safe but terrified, staring at a father she no longer recognized. Later, at the FBI field office, I told her as much of the truth as I could without violating national security. That I had been part of things I couldn't talk about. That my past had reached out and touched her life in a way I had sworn would never happen. She listened quietly, her hands trembling. "You're not just Dad," she said softly. "You're someone else. Someone scary." "I'm still your father," I told her, my voice breaking. "And I will spend the rest of my life making sure you're safe." I promise. For 20 years, I had operated in shadows. But that night, holding my daughter, I understood the cost of living there. The danger isn't just what you see, it's what follows you home. The FBI found her. But what they couldn't find was the piece of me I'd lost, the illusion that my family would always be untouchable.